With more on Sputnik V is Bloomberg Intelligence's senior pharmaceutical analyst, Sam Fazeli. Hey, Sam, thanks so much for being here. Countries right now lining up for supplies of Sputnik V. So how did this go from facing strong skepticism back in August to becoming a favorite for European countries?
Yeah, well, I think that there's always a little bit of a skepticism when it comes to a vaccine from China or a vaccine from Russia for whatever reason, prejudice or whatever it is. We had long, I think, felt that there was no reason to be skeptical until we had seen the data. You judge when you see the data. And when we saw the data, it looked, obviously, as you've highlighted, fine, based on the details that we've seen. Obviously, it's the data that's been published in a journal. It's not like when you get the FDA doing a review of, say, the Pfizer-BioNTech or the Moderna vaccine, which goes on for like 7-8 hours, and you get a very detailed analysis of the data. But it's still a good step forward, and I don't necessarily doubt it. Why is it better than AstraZeneca? I think it's very tough to do these cross-trial comparisons.
So do we know for sure that it's better at this point? I mean, do we have enough data?
No, you do not know for sure that any vaccine is better than another one unless they've been compared head to head. You have demographic differences, time differences, what's going on with the variants in different countries. And of course, the latest data from AstraZeneca showed that with the 12-week or longer time difference between the two doses, you got a much better efficacy in the region of 80-90%. I think it was 84% exactly.
Okay, so we went through some numbers here. $20 for a 2-shot regimen, making it cheaper than the mRNA vaccines. And we also went over just the fact that it's easier to store because it doesn't have to be kept as cold as those. What does that sort of accessibility mean in the fight against the global pandemic?
Yeah, well, obviously it means a lot because you just don't have to. I'm pretty sure that anybody who wants to can really go ahead and get themselves freezers and deal with that problem. But if you don't have to, it's much easier, much better. Everyone's got a refrigerator. Well, that's not quite right, but most medical places have got refrigerators, and they should be able to cope with that. I have to say, though, that price isn't particularly cheap when you compare it to some of the prices we've heard for AstraZeneca. So it's not necessarily the cheapest vaccine, but it's certainly less expensive or lower priced versus Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna.
What we've heard with the mRNA vaccines, at least here in the United States, is that, look, they're producing this vaccine as quickly as possible. What do we know about Russia's ability to actually produce the Sputnik V vaccine at a rate that will satisfy growing demand?
Yeah, so that I can't really answer because I don't know the details. I think I listened to their press conference sometime last week, and they said that they can manufacture. Let's not forget, though, this is two different viruses. This is not the same vaccine twice in 2 doses. One of them uses the the Johnson & Johnson type of virus called adenovirus 26. And the second shot uses adenovirus 5, which is similar to the one that CanSino has used. And you've seen, or you've at least heard, the efficacy levels being spoken about for that one, which is in the region of just over 50-60%. So it's not as simple as that. And I'm not convinced that necessarily it's that easy. As you've seen, they've all had issues. And you can't just assume that if you take the cells that make the virus from one laboratory or one manufacturing suite to another manufacturing suite, it will behave exactly the same. Absolutely not guaranteed.
Sam, is this the type of vaccine that could potentially come to the United States?
Why not if the United States needs it? But I don't see the need. You've got Pfizer-BioNTech, you've got Moderna, you've got Johnson & Johnson just filed, which is a similar technology. You've got Novavax coming, which is yet another different technology. I don't see the U.S. needing this.
You mentioned there's always skepticism around Chinese and Russian vaccines. Would you take this?
Yeah, look, if I had to, yes, I would take it. I've said that in what I've written. I'm not sure whether I would want to take the Sinovac vaccine or the CanSino vaccine, given the efficacies I've seen. If I had the choice between those 3, I would definitely take the Russian one, knowing what I know today. Not obviously the detail of side effects, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, there you have it. Bloomberg Intelligence's senior pharmaceutical analyst, Sam Fazeli. Hey, Sam, it's always great to have you join us. Thanks so much for your time.